So powered flight has evolved 3 times in vertebrates. First in the reptiles, the pterosaurs. Second in the reptiles, which we now call birds. And third in the mammals, the bats. Flying is the most energetically demanding form of animal locomotion. More energy per unit time than any locomotion. And these 3 groups evolved this ability very differently. In the pterosaurs, it's the little finger that's expanded. In the bats, the entire hand. And in the birds, it's the middle finger. And it's all the same bones that we have in our hands. But here we see evolution at work. Pterosaurs were awesome. They were the largest flying animals ever to put a shadow on the earth. Now we know why they went extinct. They were not a failed experiment. They were with us for 150 million years, which is longer than the birds have been with us. So really, really amazing animals. We still have the birds and the bats. The smallest bat and bird each weigh a fraction of an ounce. The biggest bird is about 150 pounds, but it can't fly. And the largest bat is about 1 pound. Bigger aerial niche space for birds than bats. Birds are also much more abundant than bats. There are about 10,000 species of birds. They're colorful, conspicuous, they sing pretty songs, they're active in the day, they're fun to watch. And if I say anything bad about birds in this talk, please, I don't mean it. They taste good. My favorite bird, right there. Very, very good with curry. Now, bats. Fewer species of bats. There's about 1,300 species of bats. They're mostly gray or shades of brown. We can't hear their songs. They're very, very vocal, but it's all above our hearing. They fly at night. They're inconspicuous. They definitely should not be eaten. And birds get better press than bats. Here we see Gustave Dior angels with bird wings assisting the righteous to heaven, the devil with bat wings damning the sinners to hell. Note also that the devil is a male, the angels are female. I don't understand that one, but it's consistent with this. Angels banishing the devil. The same is true in science. In their ability to fly, we are told, birds banish bats. The literature tells us that birds fly faster, more efficiently, longer distances, and that bats are slower and at best more maneuverable. So I'm here to tell you that the bats have not read this literature. Do birds fly better than bats? We normally think of bats flying something like this and birds flying something like this, but there's many bats that do things very differently. Allow me to introduce you to, basic principle of aerodynamics, true for birds, bats, and airplanes. Long, skinny wings are better for fast-forward flight. Short, broad wings are better to be maneuverable, but at a loss of aerodynamic performance. What we mean is more energy expended with short, broad wings. Most bats have short, broad wings. Here's a Jamaican fruit bat. Very maneuverable as they hunt for insects or look for fruit and try to avoid running into trees or bushes. If you look at how this bat's flying and you think about swimming, it's more like doing a dog paddle or a breaststroke. Okay, so this is common for bats, but not all bats. Here's a Brazilian free-tailed bat. This is the bat that I've been working on for years. Note, long, thin wings. These bats also live in colonies with millions, spectacular mass emergences, rapid long-distance flight, and they fly and forage at thousands of meters above the ground. And this is something that I've been working on for years. Weather radars see these bats at thousands of meters. That's up to 2 meters high. And my little video is not working. This is a Doppler radar, which was to show the bats coming out over the landscape. There's the bats emerging from a cave. Okay. For several years, my students, colleagues, and I have been doing everything we can, thinking of any way we can, to get our equipment or ourselves up with these bats. And this has really been a lot of fun, okay? A lot of fun. And you may ask, why did I title my talk Wie fliegt eine Fledermaus? Why do I ask, how does a bat fly in German? It's because in 2014, I had the privilege to be at the Max Planck Institute for Ornithology in Germany, where I was involved in a project that was following the flights of bats from an airplane. This is Martin Wielkelski, who's the director of the institute where we stayed. So for reference, how does a bird fly? Fastest recorded horizontal flight for a bird, 70 miles an hour. Okay, this is not stooping from a falcon, stooping from a hawk or falcon. This is gravity assisted. A rock could fly faster than that. Okay. And here's a freetail. Full disclosure, that was filmed in a wind tunnel. So, what do we know? We've tracked bats from an airplane. There's the cave. Our longest bat traveled 100 miles from the cave. We left him on the landscape. He came back by the morning. There you see the speeds of these bats on a heat diagram. Our fastest bats flew over 100 miles per hour. Short spurts of rapid flight interspersed with normal flight of about 20 miles an hour or so. So the normal flight speeds are shown there in the peak, and every one of them, all 7 bats, showed these long tails with the fastest bat reaching a speed of about 100 miles an hour. At 100 miles an hour, this is the fastest flight of any vertebrate, fastest flight of any animal. There may be other bats and birds that fly faster than this, maybe even insects. We think there might be. How do they do it? We think we know, but I can't tell you that in 6 minutes. But anticipating the question, I will tell you it's not on tailwinds. Okay, thank you.